Today we're going to talk about multiplying fractions and whole numbers together. We will start off with the basics of multiplication, move into two different models to show how we multiply fractions and whole numbers together, and then lastly, we will turn all of that into an equation. We will use the same problem throughout the entire lesson, so we should get the same answer every single time. Okay, so the problem we're going to be using is Farmer Brown has 3 acres of land. He plows 1/5 of the land. We want to know how much he plowed. So I think the first thing to think about is what we're multiplying together. So he has 3 acres of land and he plows 1/5 of this land. The land is 3 acres. So I'm going to write that out. He plowed 1/5 of 3 acres. It's important to know that when we see this of word, it means to multiply. 1/5 of 3 acres simply means to multiply 1/5 times 3. Now, this is what we're going to use the entire lesson today. But first, let's get back to the basics of multiplication. We already know that multiplication of any kind, multiplication of decimals, whole numbers, fractions, is simply repeated addition. So I can add this 1/5 fraction 3 times and I should get my answer. So I add my repeated addition, add 1/5 3 times. I know with addition of fractions, I add together my numerators and my denominators stay the same. Therefore, 1/5 times 3 should equal 3/5. Now, once we get to bigger, more complex fractions, adding repeated addition is not as efficient. So we're going to look at some other ways to accomplish that today. First, let's take a look at the bar model. Again, our answer is 3/5. Our product, the answer to our multiplication problem is 3/5. So that is our goal. We want to get 3/5 the rest of this lesson. Okay, so again, the same problem, but this time we're going to talk about the bar model. He has 3 acres of land. So I am going to draw a bar. Sometimes this is called a tape diagram. Okay, this is 0 acres. This is 3 acres. In the middle here, that's 1 acre, 2 acres. And he plows 1/5 of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, he plows 1/5 of each of these. Again, that's 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5, which gets us, as we noted before, 3/5. He plowed 3/5 acres. All right, let's look down here at the area model. Again, this is a different way to think about how we would multiply that. So we would go ahead and draw this time an area model. Okay, so if we multiply 3, okay, so those are 3 acres, 1 acre, 2 acre, 3 acre, 1, 1, 1, and then we multiply that by 1/5. So that would be splitting all of these again into 5. Once again, 1/5 of the land. That would be this whole 1/5, 1 part of the 5 parts gets me 3/5 again. Now, we have seen how multiplication, even when multiplying fractions, can be turned into repeated addition. We have seen two different models, all of this getting us the same answer. All of this leads us to our equation. This is what you will continue to use. Again, 1/5 of 3 can be rewritten as 1/5 times 3. All right, so when we multiply fractions, all we do is multiply straight across. But right now, I have 3 as a whole number, so I want to turn that into a fraction. We know that under every whole number is a 1. So we can rewrite our problem like that. 1/5 times 3 over 1. That's the same as 3 wholes. Now I multiply across. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 times 1 is 5. And there we have it. We've got our repeated addition, our two different models, and our equation all getting us the same answer, that Farmer Brown plowed 3/5 acres.